Hi everyone, my name is Deepak Punia. I am Computer Science faculty at ACE Engineering Academy. In these lectures, we will solve C programming questions of GATE 2021 exam. C programming is very important from GATE exam point of view. Okay, in this lecture, we will solve all those questions that have come in GATE 2021 exam from this chapter. Okay, let's start. Let's solve this question. This is a GATE 2021 set 2 question. He is saying consider the following C function. So this function is given int sum function and 2 arguments it is taking, you can see. So it is taking 2 arguments x comma y. Okay, if now he is saying that either x equal to 1 or y equal to 1, then we return 1. If x and y are equal, then we return x. If x is greater than y, then we return what we do. If x is greater than y, then from x we subtract y. Okay, and if y is greater than x, then from y we subtract x. The value returned by this function, when we call this function by these parameters, okay, when we call this function by these 2 arguments, then what will be the return value? So that we need to find out. Let's solve it. Okay, so in this question, actually this algorithm that is given, this program that is given, this is program for greatest common divisor calculation. Okay, so this is a standard program that we study many times in our course. So this program, this is basically GCD, greatest common divisor, greatest common divisor. Okay, so this is called GCD. Okay, so how do we calculate GCD of 2 numbers? Basically, greatest common divisor, when we calculate, for example, if I want to calculate greatest common divisor of 5 and 10, then that will be 5. Okay, so greatest common divisor means the greatest value that will divide both of them. Okay, that is the reason greatest common divisor means the greatest value that is common divisor. Okay, so you can see, if I want to calculate GCD of 5 comma 10, then what is the greatest common value that will divide both 5 and 10? That is 5. Similarly, you can see what is GCD of 2 comma 3, so that is 1, because we know that the greatest value that will divide both 2 and 3, that is 1. Similarly, you can see that GCD of 3 comma 3, that will be 3, because the greatest integer that will divide both these 3 comma 3, that is 3. So this is your greatest common divisor. Okay, now this function that is given in this question, this is basically, this is calculating greatest common divisor of x comma y. So when we pass 15 comma 255, then the return value will be greatest common divisor of 15 comma 255. Okay, and what is the greatest common divisor of, so if you want to find out the greatest common divisor of 15 comma 255, so that is 15, because 15 divides 255. Okay, because we know that 15 that divides 255, so the greatest common divisor of 50 with this 15 and this 255, that is 15. Okay, are you getting this point? So that is the reason answer will be 15. But now some of you might be thinking, if we do not know that this algorithm, okay, if we do not know that this program is calculating GCD, then how to solve it, right? Because maybe you do not know that this is a program for GCD computation, then in that case how can you solve it? So now we will solve it without having any knowledge of whether it is computing GCD or not. Okay, let's just solve it by running this program. Okay, so let's solve it. So this is basically a method 2. In this method we will execute this program and then we will see what is the output. Okay, so we call this function, this given function we call on these arguments 15 comma 255. So what will happen? So we are calling some function. So let me write it as f. Okay, some function, let me write it in short as f. So I am calling it for 15 comma 255. Okay, when I call this function by giving these arguments, then what will happen? This variable x will store 15 and this variable y, this will store 255. Okay, so you can see this variable here, the variable x that will have 15 and the variable y that will have 255. Now you can see that this condition is false because x is not equal to 1 and y is not equal to 1. So this if condition is false. Next, x is not equal to y, so this condition is also false because x is not equal to y. So x is greater than y, this condition is also false. This condition is true, y is greater than x because y is 255, okay, and x is 15. So this condition is true, this is true. So what we do? We return, what is the value that we will return? We will return the value of SF, I am calling it SF x y minus x. Okay, so what we return here? Basically we return SF of, okay, x comma y minus x. Okay, you can see y minus x. So what we get here? That is 240. Now what we do? We call this SF recursively. What we are doing here, you can see we are recursively calling this function. Okay, this function, this is calling itself. Okay, so this is called recursion. We are recursively calling this function. Okay, function is calling itself. So now we call this SF 15 to 4 this 240. Okay, so let's solve this. Now let me solve it. Okay, so what I am going to do, I am going to solve what is the value returned by SF 15 comma 240. Okay, so SF 15 comma 240. Again, now when I call this function SF by giving these two arguments, okay, so then what will happen? This variable x will store 15 and this variable y will store 240. So variable x will store 15 and variable y that will store 240. Now again what you can see, y is greater than x, then again what will happen? This condition will be satisfied. All other if conditions will become false. So this condition will satisfy, y is greater than x. So again we return some function x comma y minus x. You can see what is happening here. When x is greater than y, then we subtract y from x. Okay, we subtract the lesser value from the greater value. Okay, similarly when y is greater than x, then we subtract x from y. We subtract the lesser value from the greater value. Okay, so like this we are doing. Now when I call this, then what it will return? It will return basically SF of 15 comma 225. You can see what is happening here. Okay, every time basically, because whatever value is greater, if x is greater, then we subtract y from x. If y is greater, then we subtract x from y. Okay, so every time this is happening. You can see this 15, this is smaller value. So every time what we do, okay, as long as this value is greater, as long as this y is greater than x, then what we do? We subtract this 15 from this 225. Okay, we keep on doing like this. Okay, so what we do from here, now let's calculate SF of 15255. Then you will see what is happening here. So let me just one time let me calculate. So what will happen when I call this SF, okay, for 15 comma 225. So when I call this function with these arguments, then what will happen? Again the same thing, variable x will have value 15 and variable y will have value 2 to 5. Again y is greater than x. Y is greater than x. So what we do? So this function, this will return, you can say, okay, so this will return SF of 15, 210. Like this we can go. So if you see, ultimately what will happen? If we do like this, then remember 15 divides 210. 15 divides 210. So if we keep on doing like this, okay, if we keep on doing like this, then ultimately after some time we will reach return, okay, we will reach return SF of 15, 15, because 15 divides 210. So if I keep on subtracting, if I keep on doing like this, from 210 I subtract 15, from that value I subtract 15, I subtract 15 again and again. So ultimately after some time I will reach this SF 15, 15. When I reach SF 15, 15, then what will be the return value of this? So here you can see that the value of x is 15 and the value of y is 15. So x and y both are having same value. When both have same value, 15, 15, okay, then we return x, okay. So then we return x. What we do? Here we return the value of 15. So this will return the value 15. So you can see this will return value 15 and we keep on returning, okay. So this SF 15, 15, this function will return value 15. That value 15 we again return, okay, like this. So if we do like this, okay, so every function will just return the value 15, 15, 15. So ultimately every function is just returning value 15, okay. So this function SF 15, 255, this also will return the value 15. So this function will return value 15. Again you can see, so every function is returning the value 15. So finally what we want? We want the return value of this function, okay. We want return value of this function. So this function will also return 15. So this is how we do. So finally the return value, if you see, so the final return value, if I want to write, then what that will be? So the final return value, it will return 15, okay. So this is a very simple. So this is how you can simply do this question. This is a standard program because this is calculating GCD, greatest common divisor of two numbers, okay. Because when we calculate greatest common divisor of two numbers, then we have different methods. This is called repeated subtraction method, okay. So this is basically this method, this is called repeated subtraction method to calculate GCD, okay. So this program, if you see, this is basically this, let me write it. So this program, this is called repeated subtraction method. So from the bigger value we subtract the smaller value, and we keep doing like this. From the bigger value we subtract smaller value, okay, until either they both become equal, or one of them becomes 1, okay. So repeated subtraction method for calculating GCD, okay, for GCD of two numbers m, n, okay. So this is your answer will be 15. So the return value will be 15. So this will be your answer, okay. Let's solve this question. This is GATE 2021 set 2 question, okay. If this program is given to us, this C program is given to us, and what this program is doing? So there is an array of size 4 by 5. So we have 4 rows and 5 columns, okay. Next we have 2 variables, I comma j, two local variables we have. Then we have nested loops, loop inside loop. So we have a for loop. Inside this for loop we have another loop. You can see that this outer for loop, this is running from 0 to you can say the 0 to 3, because I is less than 4. Okay, so this is running from 0 to 3, and this loop, inner loop, this is running from 0 to 4. Okay, now what we are doing, first basically we are initializing the values. Okay, in this array we are putting the values, we are initializing the values in this array. Okay, aij is equal to 10i plus j. Okay, after that this for loop is over. Once this for loop is over, then what we do, we are printing this value. Okay, and finally he is asking what is the output of the above program, what is the value we are printing. Let's solve this question one by one. First, in this question you can notice that we have array of size 4 by 5. So this array ARR, okay, this array ARR, this we have, okay, it has size 4 by 5, means 4 rows we have, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 5 columns we have, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this is our array, and this is the name of the array. You know, the name of the array is basically base address of the array. Okay, so this name ARR, this is basically our base address of the array. Now you can notice, so what we are doing, we are running this outer for loop 0 to 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this inner loop 0 to 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so basically we are initializing the elements in this array. Okay, aij is equal to 10i plus j. For example, if I run this, I equal to 0, j equal to 0, so a00 will be equal to 10 into I plus j. So that is 10 into 0 plus j, that is, you can see this value will be 0. Next, now what will happen, the value of j will become 1. So 0 comma 1. So what is value of 0 comma 1? So this is very simple. Basically what we are doing, every element ARR I comma j, every element ARR I comma j, what is that value? So that is equal to 10 multiplied by I plus j. Now you can very easily you can do this. Okay, because what is this for program? Okay, so what is this for loop doing? It is basically initializing the values in the array. Okay, it is initializing the values in the array. So we can do this. Now you can notice that this is our I equal to 0. Okay, so 10 into 0, that is 0, so plus j, so this will be the value. Okay, like this. Next, now I here, I is equal to 1, so 10 plus j, so I can say, I can just add the value. So 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Similarly here it will become 10 into 2, that is 20, so you can say 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24. And here it will be 31, 32, 33, 34 and 30. Sorry, this is 20. So this is 30. Okay, so this is 30. Wait a second. So this is 31, 32, 33, 34. So this is your array after this for loop is over, because you can see this for loop, what it is doing, it is initializing the values in the array. So once this for loop is over, now what we have, this array looks like this. Okay, so this is the array. Now what we are doing, we are printing this value. So what is this value that we need to see? Okay, what is this value? Now you should observe few things about C programming. In the C language, this by default, basically this array is stored in row measure order. Okay, so in the C language, arrays are stored in the row measure order. Row measure order means this array is basically in C language. Okay, our array that is stored in row measure order, row after row, row after row. So this array basically I can write like this. This array in memory, how it will look? In memory, how it will look? So let me write in memory. In memory, this will be stored as this array will be stored as row measure order. Row measure order. Okay. So row measure order means this array ARR, this will look like this in the memory. It will look like this. Okay. So this is your A00, this is your A00. So what we have, that is 0. So row after row. Okay. Fetch the complete row 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the complete row. Now the next row, that is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Again the next row that is 20, 21, 22, 23, like this, and so on. So like this. Okay. You can see what is this? This is A00. What is this? This is A01. So what is this? This is A01. Okay, like this. So this is A02 and so on. So you know, okay, for example, what is this? This is A10. This is A10 and so on. So this is in memory. This is how array will be stored. In C language, row measure order is the default, you can say, configuration. So this array, this will be stored in memory in row measure order. Okay, like this. Now what he is saying in this question, he is saying star of ARR. What he is saying? He is saying star of ARR of 1 plus 9. See, we know what is, if I ask you what is ARR, okay, what is ARR of 1, 1? If I ask you this, then you can very easily say, that ARR of 1, 1, that will be 1, 1, that will be 11. So this will be 1, 1. Okay, that you can say. But what is the meaning of ARR of 1? What is the meaning of this? Okay, so let me tell you. I told you that, okay, so let's see here. This ARR, this is basically the name of the array. The name of the array represents the base address. So this ARR, it basically represents the base address of the array. Okay, when I write ARR of some I comma j, when I write ARR of some I comma j in the 2D array, okay, when I write, so this ARR, this is basically this is our 2D array, okay, 2-dimensional array. So when I write ARR of I comma j, this is element at location I comma j, at location I comma j, you can say. Okay, at location, basically at location this ARR I comma j. So for example, what is A, you can see what is A11. So this is A11. For example, what is this? This is A33. Okay, what is and what is this? This is A34. So like this. Now if I write ARR of only I, what it means for a 2D array? What it means? It means skip I rows. It means basically skip I rows. It only means skip I rows. Okay, so it means skip I rows. Okay, so here you can see that. And also let me tell you one thing. So ARR of 1, what that will be? ARR of 1. So here ARR of 1 means skip one row. So when you skip one row, then what will happen? So you skip this one row, this complete one row you skip. Okay, so ARR of 1 means basically where we are? We are here. Okay, ARR of 1 means we are here. Skip one row. So remember, so this ARR, array address, so this points to this location. The name of the array that represents base address of the array. So this ARR, this represents the address of this location, the address of this location. Similarly, this ARR 1, that is representing the address of this location. So remember that is representing address of this. So this is basically ARR of 1. Okay, so what is ARR of 1? That is representing skip I rows, or I can say that ARR of I, that represents address of row I, address of row I. Okay, so for example, ARR of 1 means address of row 1. This is row 0, this is row 1. So address of row 1. So you can see address of this element. So ARR of 1 means address of this element 10, address of this element 10. Okay, that is your ARR 1. Okay, so you can say this ARR 1, this is your address of, address of ARR 1,10. So okay, sorry, address of ARR 1,0. Okay, so this point is clear now. So this is basically address of row 1, address of row 1. Now we are doing plus 9. What is the meaning of plus 9? In C language, plus K means skip K words. Okay, plus K means skip K words. So similarly here, plus 9 means basically skip 9 elements. Okay, so what we do? Skip 9 elements. So this ARR 1, this is representing the address of this element, So plus 9 means skip 9 elements. Okay, so skip 9 elements, skip this element, skip this element, skip this element, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, skip 9 elements. Okay, so remember this is ARR 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So once I skip 9 elements, then this is the answer. So answer will be 24. Remember, okay, let me tell you, don't worry. So after this, let me tell you that, so this is clear, right? That ARR of 1, that ARR of I, that represents the address of row I, or I can say that ARR of I, that is basically address of ARR I, 0. Okay, address of this element, Now, in C language, when I write, for example, if I write like this, ARR of this plus K, it means skip K elements. It means skip K elements. Or I can say that it means basically the address of ARR I, K. So the address of I, K, like this. Okay, so either you can say skip K elements, or if you want to be more correct, then that will be the address of ARR IK. So in the question, you can see in the question he is asking ARR of 1 plus 9. So that will be, you can see, so this, okay, this inside, okay, this is address of ARR 1, 9. Basically skip 9 elements, ARR of 1, 9. What is 1, 9? Like there is no 1, 9, right? So 1, 9 means skip 9 elements. Okay, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Skip 9 elements. So this is basically your ARR of 1, 9. So this I can write ARR of 2, 4. So like this you can do. Okay, so like this. So answer will be what? Answer will be 24, because remember this ARR I plus K means skip K elements, or I can say the address of ARR I K. Okay, so here the answer will be what? here the answer in this question, answer will be 24. Okay, so this is the answer for this question. Okay, let's solve this question. This is a GATE 2021 set 2 question. Okay, a program is given to us. Now he is asking the output of this program. Okay, in this question if you see, so we have a function, so this foo function we have, and this function it is taking 3 arguments. Okay, this function foo, it is taking 3 arguments and it is returning some integer. Okay, so the return type is integer, int, and it is taking 3 integer arguments. Okay, you can see 3 integer arguments. Now this is our main function, this is our main function. So execution, so the execution of this program, that will start from here. Okay, now you can see that what we are doing int of r. So to this variable, we have a local variable in this main program. To this local variable r, we are assigning the value that is returned by foo 15 15 10. Okay, so the value that will be returned by this function foo, okay, by this function call, we are calling this function foo by these actual arguments 15 15 10. Okay, so these actual arguments we are passing to this function foo, and the return value of foo, because the return, you can see the return type is int, so the return value is some integer value, and that value we are holding in this variable r. Okay, finally what we are doing, we are printing the value r. So this is, so what is the output of this program? So basically what is the value that we are printing? Okay, so let's solve this question. We can solve this question very easily. What we are doing, we are calling foo 15 15 10. When you see this function foo, then what is happening here? First you see, if x is less than equal to 0 and y is less than equal to 0, when both are true, means x and y both are less than or equal to 0, when both are less than or equal to 0, then we return the value q. Q means basically this third argument. Okay, then we return the value q. So if this x and y, if both of them are less than or equal to 0, then we return the value q. Okay, similarly, if x is less than equal to 0, if x is less than equal to 0 but y is not less than equal to 0, okay, so if x is less than equal to 0, then we return the value foo of x y minus q q. Okay, so this we call this function basically. Okay, so this is recursively, this foo function, this is recursively calling itself. Okay, a function is calling itself, so this is a recursion. If y is less than equal to 0, then we return foo x minus q y comma q. Else, okay, if this, all these three if conditions, if they fail, then what we do, we return the finally foo of, so we return this plus this. Okay, so this is the complete analysis of the program. Now we will execute it. Okay, so let's try to execute. So we are calling foo of 15 15 10. So let's see. So we are calling foo and we are passing the actual arguments. Okay, the actual arguments are 15 15 10. Okay, so when we call this function foo by these actual parameters, by these actual arguments, then you can see that value of x y q, so the value of x is 15, value of y is 15, and value of q, so this variable q, this will hold the value 10. Okay, now you can notice that for this, so now you can notice that, so this value, this is the value that is stored in variable x, this is the value that is stored in variable y, and this is the value that is held that is stored in the variable q. Okay, now you can notice this if condition, this is false because x is 15, y is 15, so this condition, this if condition becomes false. This if condition also becomes false, this if condition also becomes false. Finally what we do, we return foo of this plus foo of this. Okay, so this is what we return. So what we can do here, we can do like this. Okay, finally what we return, so we return foo of you can see x y minus q q. So basically here we are subtracting q from y and here we are subtracting from x. So what I can say x means 15. Okay, from y I am subtracting 10, so that will be 5 comma 10, and here I am calling foo of, so you can see that will be 5 comma 15 comma 10. So this is a very simple point, because you can see here what we are calling x y minus q q plus foo x minus q y comma q. Okay, so these two we are calling, and finally you can see the return. Once I do this, okay, once I calculate this, what is the return value of this and what is the return value of this? Once I do that, then what will be the return value of this? Return value of this foo function, return value of this function call, that will be return value of this function call plus return value of this function call. Okay, now let's do this. Okay, when we call this function by these arguments 15, 5, 10, okay, we are calling this function foo by these arguments, then what will happen? You can see that this is the value of x, okay, this is the value of x and this is the value of y, this is the value of q. You can notice that again what will happen, all these if conditions, they will become false, because value of x is, you can see here, value of x is 15 and value of y is 5. So again all these if conditions, they will become false. So again what we will do, we will return foo of this function call plus this function call. So what we will do, again this we will call foo of 15 comma 5 minus 10, that is minus 5 comma 10. Okay, also foo of, so that is 5 comma 5 comma 10. Okay, now similarly we can do this also. Okay, let's do this function call also. Again here the value of x is 5, the value of y is 15. So what we do, we call foo of, okay, so foo of 5 comma 5 comma 10 also. So let me write it. So this will be foo of minus 5 comma 15 comma 10. You can notice that this function call is same as this function call. Okay, both these function call are same, so we don't have to calculate them again and again. I will calculate only one of them and then automatically I can replace this value. Okay, now what is this value? Foo of 15 minus 5 10. So let's go back to here, because the value of x is 15, the value of y is minus 5. So here you can see this if condition, this will become false because x value is 15. Okay, so 15 is not less than equal to 10, so this if condition will become false. This if condition also will become false because x value is 15. This if condition, this will become true because y value is minus 5. Okay, you can see value of y is minus 5. So this if condition, this will become true, and hence what we will do, we will return foo of x minus q y comma q. So what we will do here, we will return foo of x minus q. Okay, you can see x minus, so this, okay, yes, this, okay, foo of x minus q y comma q. Similarly, let's see this 5 comma 5 comma 10. So here when I do, then both x and y both are 5 comma 5. So what will happen, all these three if condition, they will become false. So I will call this function call plus this function call. So what I will do here, I will do like this. Let me take a white. So I will do like this, foo of 5 comma minus 5 comma 10 and foo of minus 5 comma 5 comma 10. So this is what I will get. Okay, next, this I do not need to calculate again. Of course it will execute, but I don't have to calculate. I can save some time because I know that this function call and this function call both are same. So what I will do, I will calculate this function call, what is the value returned by this function call, and I will put it here. Okay, now let's see this. So let's see this. what is the value of this? You can see x is minus 5. When x is minus 5, so when x is less than equal to 0, okay, and y is 15, you can see y is 15. So in that case, what we call? We call x y minus q q. So here what we do? Here we call basically, here we call foo of x y minus q q. Okay, so this is our so far. Now let's see. Okay, so what is the value of this function call? 5 comma minus 5 10. So what is the value of this function call? Again here you can see y is less than equal to 5, but the value of x is 5. So here the function, here what we do? So value of y is less than equal to 5, okay, less than equal to 0. So then what we do? We call x minus q y comma q. So here we call foo of x minus q, that is minus 5 10, minus 5 10, okay. And here what we do? Again the same scenario, because this is 5 minus 5 10, so I don't have to calculate it again, okay, because this function call and this function call both are exactly same, so I will reuse. Similarly, what is this value? Minus 5 10, okay. So here value of x, you can see value of x is negative and the value of y is 5. So what I do? Because the value of x is negative, okay, and the value of y is greater than 0, so I will call x y minus q q. So what I will do? Here I will do foo of minus 5 minus 10, that is minus 5 and 10, okay. So far, now you can notice that this foo, you can notice this foo minus 5 10, okay. So this function call is same as this function call. So what I will do? I do not have to calculate this value again, I will reuse, okay. I will calculate this value and I will reuse, okay. So like this. Now let's calculate. So one by one let's calculate what is this value. So what is the value of this? Let me check. So these are the function calls we have. So what is the value of this function call? Minus 5 10. So both are negative. When both are negative, then just return q. When both are negative basically, then just return q. So what I do? This function call, this will return the value 10, okay. This will return the value 10. So this will return the value 10, or hence I can say, so this function call will return the value 10, okay. Next, you can notice that what is the value of this 5 comma minus 5 10, because you can see both this function call and this function call both are exactly same. So this function call is returning value 10, so this function call will also return value 10, okay. So this function call is also done, it will return value 10, okay. Next, what is the value returned by this function call? That is also 10, because x and y both are less than or equal to 0. So the value the value that we will return, that is 10. So this will return the value 10. This function call, this will return value 10, okay. So hence this function call, this will also return value 10. Now you can notice that this function call is returning value 10, this function call is returning value 10. So this function call will return value 20, 10 plus 10, okay, because there are two branches. So 10 plus 10, that it will return the value 20. So this function call, this will return the value 20. I can write like this, okay, and this function call will return the value 10. Next, let's see the remaining. So here you can see that, okay, this function call, you can see foo minus 5 10, okay. So this is same as foo minus 5 10. So this function call is returning value to 10, so this will also return value 10, okay. Hence this function call, this will return value 10, okay. Now you can notice that this function call 5 10, this function call 5 10, this function call is same as this function call 5 10. So this function call will also return the value 20, okay. And you can see that this function call is returning value 20, okay, and you can see this function call, this is returning value 10. So what will be the value returned by this function? what will be the value written by this function? That will be 20 plus 10, basically that will be 30. This will return the value 30. Okay, now so this is the scenario that we have right now. So what will happen now? So this function call, this will return the value 30. Why? Because this branch is returning the value 10, this branch is returning the value 20. So this function will return the value 10 plus 20, because remember here, okay, this branch plus this branch, there is plus here. Okay, now what I can do? So this also will return value 30, and this function call, this is also returning value 30. Again we have two branches. This branch is returning value 30, this branch is returning value 30. So this function call, this main function call, this will return the value 30 plus 30, because you can notice here, okay. So this is the left branch and this is the right branch, and what is the value written by left branch plus what is the value written by right branch? Okay, so like this. So this main function call, this is the main function call, this is returning value 60, this is returning value 60. So I can say, what I can say, that our main function call, this function call, this is going to return the value 60. This value we will hold in variable r. Okay, now we are going to print this variable r. So the output of the program will be, when we print this value of r, then that will be 60. So the answer will be 60. This is a very simple question, don't worry about. Okay, this looks like a complicated tree structure, but if you try this is a very easy, because at every step what we are doing, basically we are just executing this program. Okay, you can see that when both x and y, when both are greater than 0, then what we do? We call this function call plus this function call. So this is what we are doing here. Okay, initially this is the function call. Now you can see x and y both are greater than 0. So we call this function call plus this function call. Again what we do? Again recursively we do this. So when we do this recursively, then we get this tree structure. Okay, at the end, when both x and y, when both are negative, you can see, when both are negative, means when both are less than equal to 0, then we return the value q. Okay, so at the end you can see we are returning the value 10. So like this if we do, then the answer will be 60. Okay, so this main function call, this is the function call that we made. So this function call, this will return the value 60. And remember what I did here. Okay, some function calls are repeating, you can see some function calls are repeating, like this function call foo 5 5 10. This function call is repeating foo 5 5 10. So we don't have to compute again and again. Of course, when we execute the program, then this also will be executed, this also will be executed, but we can save some time, because we are only interested in what is the final output of this function call. Okay, this output of this function call, that is our interest. Okay, so that is the reason I am not computing this function call again and again. What I will do, I will compute this function call. Okay, I will compute this function call, and whatever value this function call will return, that I will use it here. So I can save some time like this. Okay, so this is the question, and very simply you can do it using this tree structure, and the answer will be 60. Okay.